this shouldn't be a massive project. It should be fairly straightforward. What did I just do?
It's alright, that.
Good evening. I hope you're sitting comfortably. If that's true, then I'll begin. Why are we here tonight? Okay, so we're at the workshop, which is where I undertake a lot of project work, I should say, as well as a lot of it's where I repair stuff, fix stuff that's broken, mainly cars, and the several previous projects that I put through here. I've done a motorbike up here on the XR125, lovely little bike, which turned out as a project to be significantly more than I thought it was going to be, but that's all done, riding that round. The Fiat Panda 100 horsepower Project Chi-Chi, that took a bit more than I thought it was going to as well. Most of this stuff's been documented photographically. I had every intention of making videos in relation to that, which is the big project, but I'll just talk about that in a second. But I always looked at it and went, oh, I'll just crack on with this, and the next thing you know, you're halfway through it. I'm going to do things differently with this, because this shouldn't be a massive project. It should be fairly straightforward. What did I just do? I know it's got a few things that need sorting out. I know it's got a few issues, and I know there's always a few things to bite me in the ass, but I'm fairly confident that I can make this one work. Anyway, that there, 1984 Mini Sprite, original limited edition Sprite, 2,500 made, less than 100 left that are road registered. That's not road registered at the moment, obviously, but it is been rebuilt over the space of 2003. I moved it in, yeah. It was originally going to be a bit of a tidy up, maybe a respray, maybe some new sills. Yeah. There was no boot. There were no inner wings. There were no sills. There were no. Well, you catch my drift. It was in a very sorry state. I rebuilt the engine about 3 years ago. That was a pretty good rebuild, actually. That was head. A few other bits and pieces, carburetor, that's all behind you there. Subframes, everything, all of that, and it's all ready to go back in the car. The car is epoxied and filler primed down to a point. It needs a bit of rubbing down, it needs a bit of sorting out. Boot, doors, all of that they're all ready to be finished off, and then it can be sprayed, or partly sprayed. Then most of the mechanicals go back into it, then it's fully sprayed, and then it gets finished off. However long that takes, I'm not worried about, because it's honest rotisserie, and it's quite happy there, and it's not rusting because I fixed the roof in here. That was a hell of a project as well. Anyway, so why am I here right now? Well, what I'm sat on is the latest acquisition. It's the latest project that I'm hoping to actually cut my teeth on some videos and do some videos. Now, I'm not going to make any apologies for the fact that I might ramble, I might be boring, I might do stuff that makes you think, oh my god, I'm getting sick watching it, because I don't have that. I'll get that. That's why I'm doing this. I find that when I work up here, if I don't have a tool, or I don't, the tool isn't correct or whatever, then I usually make one. And it's going to be the same with a lot of this videoing, etc. And it's the first time that I've videoed like this. Very first time. exchanging and opening myself up like this. And the equipment as well is fairly interesting. It's quite a Heath Robinson affair, but it should be pretty good quality. Sound's going to be interesting because I've got to figure out how to do all that because it's being recorded separately on that 4-channel there. But that's another story. So, what am I sat on? Why am we here? Yes, the latest project. I picked it up this afternoon, and it's something that's going to take a bit of work, and I'm hoping to take you through the journey of me, hopefully, not skinning every knuckle that I've got, although that usually happens. But there's a few a major issue or a few major repairs and bits of maintenance that need doing on it. And there's a few other bits and pieces as well as I've gone round it this evening that they're going to be interesting because I haven't figured out how to sort them out yet. But this evening's exercise is to take a good look round, make a list, and decide what we're going to do with certain bits and pieces. Yes, so I think this one is going to have to be called something along the lines of Project Luigi. Might give you an idea as to what it actually is. I got a thing about Italian cars, you see. I've had Mark 1 Panda, several Mark 2s, 169s, and now this one. Yeah, so what we got, (2010) 1.4 turbo, same engine as in the Panda, albeit with a nice little turbocharger, slightly different mapping, that type of thing. But the engine's fundamentally the same as is the gearbox. The actual base of the car is the same as well, in a lot of ways. There are some obvious differences as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round this car and we're going to pick out a few bits and pieces just to see where we're going to focus on this over the next however long this actually takes, and we're going to see where we are at the end of it all. I'm going to write it all down. I've even got a whiteboard up there, a bloody whiteboard to go with everything else, although I had real trouble trying to find a whiteboard pen, but that's another story as well. So let's have a look then. The car is completely 100% standard, and fair play to the previous owner, who's a very good friend of mine. He did look after it, other than the fact that it's been sat in his garage for a very long time, years, and as a result it has, even though the garage bone dry, it has suffered ever so slightly in various different ways. And what I'm going to do is we're going to have a go round and have a fiddle with things and see where we so yes, let's give it a bit of a start, shall we? I'll make my mind up whether you're a boy or a girl. Anyway. Right, that's enough, huh?
alright, that.